If you ever feel like you're constantly stuck, like your films aren't getting better, you're not booking any weddings, it's honestly probably not because of why you think. Filmmakers today are living in the most overwhelming creative era in history. There's constant courses out there promising you success. There's thousands, millions of endless reels that constantly cause you to compare yourself, and endless noise out there that makes you feel like everyone else has it figured out but you. It's honestly more accessible but also harder than ever before. When I started filming weddings, I was on Canon T2i and some DSLRs, and no one really cared about specs or algorithms. There wasn't this constant noise. There was no one really telling you that you had to post 20 pieces of content daily in 20 different formats on 20 different platforms just to stay ahead.
What the hell is even that?
But here's what I think. I don't think filmmakers are failing, quitting, falling behind, not growing in their business because they lack talent or because they haven't finished that shiny new course that promised them 6 figures. It's really because I feel that we're consuming far more than we're actually creating. In the moment of consuming content, we're being told the lie that this feels productive and that consuming this piece of content is going to actually help me in some way. And while that may be true to some extent, it also could be holding you back and doing far more harm than good. And a lot of you are probably like, well, Jared, you're making content right now, so should I just tune out to you or should I continue watching this? And honestly, I want you to do what's best for you. But if you think about it, it's like studying for a driving test, like cramming all of this information into your brain, and then the second you get behind that wheel, you freeze. You don't know what to do. You don't remember what was said on that YouTube video because your brain is in a constant state of overwhelm. You didn't really absorb and learn what was being said because there was so much other noise that occupied your mind that day as well. I'm sure a lot of you have done this. I'm guilty of doing this, where we binge hours and hours of YouTube content, hoping that it will unlock the secret to our potential, that it will radically transform our film, our talent, our skill. And for that brief moment, it feels good. It feels like we're making progress. It feels like we're actually doing something. But when that time comes to create, we feel paralyzed. We're back on our phones again. We're trying to find the secret sauce. We're trying to find the answers to solve the problems in the moment instead of just trusting our instincts, instead of just creating from a genuine place, from that intuition inside of us. We're trying to achieve something that someone else has done, that someone else has said, because this is how they said is the way to do it. But consuming without creating is just procrastination disguised as progress. Because what ends up happening, the more that we consume, the more that we compare. We're comparing our first step to someone else's 5,000. And the more that we compare, the harder it is to trust our own instincts, our own gut feeling in the moment. Honestly, I miss the days where creating and filmmaking, filming someone's wedding felt effortless. There wasn't this constant pressure. There wasn't this competition that we were constantly thinking of in the back of our heads, or we didn't overthink composition, or does this feel cinematic enough? Is this gonna get a lot of likes and attention? Or worrying that your effort will just be wasted entirely, that your time doing this isn't worth it because no one's gonna watch it. And I say all this because I've been there. I'm struggling in this moment today with trying to get out of that mentality and that mindset of creating for the likes, for the metrics, for things that don't really fulfill me, but that just look good on paper. So if you feel stuck, here's some things that can help. Number one is to set your limits. Pick one course, one mentor, one coach, and use their ideas and put them into practice. Because learning really only happens if you're actually taking action on the ideas that people are giving. And next is the obvious, and that's to create more than you consume. You don't become a great filmmaker by watching someone else's journey. You become one yourself by making films that are messy, that are imperfect, where you make mistakes. The mistakes like forgetting to press record on your second camera during the ceremony, or setting the wrong white balance in the reception hall, or overexposing an image, underexposing an image, having too much headspace within your framing, using way too much movement within every single shot on the wedding day. The journey to getting better, to actually growing, happens through mistakes. And those mistakes shouldn't get you down. They should actually excite you because you're learning what not to do. Your first 10 weddings are gonna be clumsy. Heck, my 400th wedding still is clumsy from time to time. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna learn from those mistakes. You're gonna make those mistakes again from time to time because we're not perfect. But the magic is really on the other side of that journey, and just enjoying that process and not getting yourself down, not beating yourself up, giving yourself some grace, not comparing yourself to other people, but romanticizing the process. And that might sound silly, but I feel like this is something that I am having to do constantly, is romanticize the process in order to get myself out of the funk that I found myself in. Because your creative spirit thrives when you're having fun, when you're not setting these unrealistic expectations or putting this mountain of pressure on yourself to create, to perform, to build content that creates exposure and attention, likes, and all the things that don't really make you happy. They just end up making you sad when they don't come. Use a new camera, use a new lens. Whatever it takes to get you excited, that's what you should do. And when it comes to learning or consuming content, you really should only consume the things that you need in the moment. That just-in-time learning, that's really what's gonna help you absorb the information and use that information, put it into action. Don't just collect it like coins in a slot machine. Use the information that you've been given into the wedding day that you're about to film this upcoming weekend, or the event that you're gonna film, or the passion project that you have in mind. Take what you've learned from this one piece of content and put it into immediate action. And something that I've just had to force myself to do a lot this year is to just turn it all off and slow down. I've talked about slowing down a lot on this channel this year, and that's because that's what I'm trying to be more intentional at doing. Unsubscribe from the internet for a while if you have to. Unsubscribe from people that are better at what you do, that are no longer a source of inspiration, but are now becoming a source of comparison. Because if your mind is constantly full of other people's ideas, podcasts, videos, courses, there's really no room for your voice to be heard. And when you tune out all the noise, you actually start hearing what you want to say. And if I could give you any truth, any absolute, there's no course, there's no one tutorial, there's no one piece of gear that will transform you overnight, nor should you want it to. There's no magic pill or formula that makes wedding filmmaking or running a business easy, but there is a mindset that makes it sustainable. You wanna just enjoy this journey now. Continue to enjoy the process. Fall in love with creating again for yourself and not creating for other people. Yes, your couple is the people you serve, but you're also serving your own creative spirit. When you're creating for others, when you're serving others, when you're loving other people, there's a byproduct that is created within that, and that's fulfillment, that's joy. Imposter syndrome never fully goes away. I'd argue that it honestly gets worse over time the more you grow and become more equipped inside the industry. Because remember, no one has it all figured out. Not me, not the person with 1 million subscribers, not the filmmaker that you admire. So make what you love. Do what you want to do because you love it, not because you're chasing this unrealistic expectation or this version of yourself that doesn't really exist or that won't actually make you happy. Because you'll always be stuck if you're chasing validation. But what will truly fulfill you is doing what you love to do, serving others well, because that's the byproduct from creating a business from your passion and serving other people from and with your art. The byproduct is true joy, true fulfillment, and true contentment instead of constantly trying to chase this ones and zeros and acceptance from strangers on the internet. Comparison really is that thief of joy, and joy is truly hard to come by on the internet. But thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you found this video helpful and valuable in some way. If you did, it would mean so much if you consider liking and subscribing. Drop a comment below, and until next time, keep creating and telling beautiful stories. Peace.